Hello, Marcelo Pico here with a quick intro before the intro. Voting has begun in this year's 12th annual Talk Film Society Awards. Go to talkfilmsociety.com/TFS Awards for details on how to vote. Stay tuned to this show and Talk Film Society's socials for updates. You have until January 20th to vote in this first round. The winners will be announced on February 28th, 2025. Just stay tuned to talkfilmsociety.com/TFS Awards for updates and to vote. That's it. Go vote. And now, on to the episode. Hello, welcome to the Talk Film Society podcast. I am your host, Marcelo Pico, editor-in-chief of Talk Film Society, and with me for yet another episode of the Talk Film Society Oscar season, award season, Talk Film Society Awards, coverage, breakdown, prognostication season. It's my co-host, Siobhan and Marcelo. Hello, Siobhan.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you for having me once again. Done this 2 years in a row.
Woo.
3 years?
Well, 3. This is the third. Yeah, the third time we're doing.
We've done this. Wow.
Yeah. What are your favorite moments of the last 2 seasons of doing this show?
I really loved in the last 2 seasons when we talked about like our favorite stuff of the year.
Siobhan, you beat me to the punch. I was going to say the exact same thing. I love talking about our favorites of the year.
That's why this is good to do. We like talking about our favorites of the year.
This episode's no different.
And look, this could be a really condensed thing. We don't have to pay attention to the awards or whatever. This could be like, I don't know, like a 2.5 hour episode where us and a couple other people just like talk about our top 10 movies of the year, and we hit all these points within that condensed 2.5 hours, 3 hours. But what we do is we spend 2.5, 3 hours every single week getting into the extreme minutia, getting really into that minute detail, and really explaining to you why on a molecular level we like these things.
Absolutely.
And I think that's cool. I think that's fun to do.
Yeah. Last episode, we broke down the Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress race. We really I hope y'all are taking notes. This is episode 3 now. I hope y'all are taking notes. Like we said before, not only are we here to educate all of you, in regards to the Oscar season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the eye-opening thing here is, and this is true, even I'm learning something doing this show. I can't imagine what people listening would be doing. Learning, loving.
You hear this.
Yeah.
You hear this, and you think, naturally, look, these guys know what they're talking about. They know everything.
Yeah, no.
We're also students.
Yeah, we're students. The students have become the teachers, and the teachers have become the students.
There's all so much to learn on this big blue marble.
Absolutely. Best animated films, best visual effects of the year. Wow. That's what we're covering this episode. Whoa, wow.
Yeah. Remember last week on our supporting episode, we had a wonderful guest, Elise. Well, we're not done with the guests. Okay.
No, not by a long shot, you sons of bitches.
2 in a row. We have a beautiful guest coming up whenever he joins the call, and I'm very excited to talk to him. Maybe eagle-eared listeners might recognize the voice when he comes in as the same voice that was on last year's Best Animated Features episode.
Yeah. eagle-eyed listeners, you'll be surprised.
You can
as
read
to
the
who's
description and recognize the names.
recognize it. Put the name with the face, or should I say voice? Let's wait until he shows up. Okay, this is
gonna talk about.
This is the ticking clock. Okay, we're recording a little bit earlier than when we told our guest. So whenever he's ready, we're gonna drop everything we're doing. We're gonna let him join the show. So right now, it's all going well. Just me and Siobhan, just talking. Okay,
just having fun, hanging out.
This is like Chekhov's podcast guest. Okay, we know he's coming, but we don't know when he's coming. All right, woo! What a show! My gosh, my heart is pumping.
I am terrified.
All right, Siobhan, what's your deal?
Peek behind the curtain. We just recorded.
Oh my God! He's in the waiting room.
Oh my God! Oh, we have to stop everything.
We have to stop. Okay, all right. So, folks, we'll be back after this break, and we'll have on our guest. Stay tuned. And we're back.
Whoa. And we're back.
Oh my God!
What a break!
What a break! Okay, go ahead, Siobhan. Oh, I'm excited.
We've come back with a very special present under our doorstep.
Yes.
A new character, a new person. His name's Joey.
Hey.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Joey.
Hi.
That's about as good of an intro as anybody could do.
Well, Siobhan, you've done better.
I'm freshly wrapped under the tree.
There you go. See, there you go. see, Joey put some mustard on it. Joey, the state of the race. We asked our last guests last episode this. We'll ask you, how you feeling? We don't need to talk about the categories we're talking about this week, specifically, but overall, how you feeling about the end of the year wrap up? Everybody is starting to publish their best of lists. Like, how are you feeling about the year? Was for Joey, for you, was it a good year for movies?
I think it was a very good year for movies. I went to the theater a lot this year. I got a Alamo season pass, and so I would often on a Sunday where I didn't have a lot to do just go see a new release that seemed interesting to me, and I saw a lot of movies that way. And I was very happy that what to me has been the front runner for Best Picture for several weeks, Anora, really resonated with me. I thought it was fantastic. So I have like a big movie that's likely to win Best Picture that I'm rooting for all of Oscar season, which is exciting. Mm-hmm. I loved Challengers.
Yes.
Which I'm hoping doesn't get forgotten because it came out, 10 months ago or whatever. But I thought Challengers was really incredible.
It seems to just be like on the edge of the race, like it is there, but chances aren't the best.
I've yet to see Conclave, but being a lapsed Catholic who lives for the drama, I'm sure I'm going to love it. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a good year for movies. I don't know. Like, Wicked made $1 bajillion, and I love musicals. Like, it's a cool year for movies that I'm interested in.
This is coming out after Christmas.
Yeah.
Will you have watched some Christmas films? Or you could go out to the theater to watch something new?
I'm planning in the days after Christmas to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with my family and my girlfriend.
Okay, good. Now we're talking.
I'm hype as hell about because I like those first two, and then everyone and their mother has been saying the third one is better than both of them, and I like Sonic Adventure 2, the video game that this one seems to be largely inspired by, so that's exciting.
I did see that.
I am much less interested in Mufasa.
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah. Sorry, Lynn. I love you, man, but no, I'm good.
Yeah, what bums me out about Mufasa is Barry Jenkins introducing a clip from Mufasa before I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And just how not, I hate to say, like, how lifeless he seemed as he described the technology that brought Mufasa to life. It bums me out, but also, I mean, it feels like I should see it because it's Barry Jenkins and I love his work, and maybe there's some Barry Jenkins deep in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oscar winner.
Yeah, I mean, the dude won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I have a really complicated relationship with these quote-unquote live-action remakes. And, this is an original film. This is a prequel to a remake of a beloved animated feature that, despite being presumably somewhat groundbreaking mocap animation, it seems like the actors were like physically doing movements that were translated into these animated characters. The way these movies are marketed makes the technology just seem like a step backward and deeply uninteresting, which is really frustrating to me as an animation fan.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's got like 5 original Lin-Manuel Miranda songs, and I've heard one of them, and it got in my head for a little while, but like, I'm not expecting there to be an Encanto level bop out of this thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, that thing must have cost $200 million. You could have used on something original.
Yeah.
Or, a different animation technique that is going to inspire people instead of making people go, that lion looks kind of weird. He kind of looks real and kind of looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, the difference in style I saw side by sides from the first and second movie are just, it's weird. Like, it's just an odd choice.
It seems like there's been an attempt to make them less lifeless.
A little bit. Like they went less for realism and slightly less for realism and more for like add character to them. Yeah. Because that was a big complaint about the first movie's art style, but at the same time, it just doesn't seem, it's like too little too late.
I mean, you know what had a ton of character and inspired people for 20 years? The 2D animated film, The Lion King.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Full of expressive animal characters that people love.
Does anybody know, like, after Mufasa, well, I think I already know the answer. It's Seven Dwarfs, right? That's the next, like...
Snow White.
Oh, my God.
And then Lilo and Stitch. They're both booked for
Oh, God, that's right. Yeah, I was going to ask...
Can we talk about the Seven Dwarfs trailer?
I don't want to, because I haven't seen it. I've only seen frames.
It looks
but
so bad.
Yeah.
I know everybody picked apart, like Little Mermaid, Lion King. Everybody has shit on all of these movies, even Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, which are pretty good. Like,
I like that Jungle Book one. That at least was kind of it did some new stuff with the material.
But like, man, just Snow White looks like another level of terrible. Like the way the animation looks is just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty bad.
I feel very bad for Rachel Zegler, who I really like. I think she's going to have a difficult press tour for this one.
For a few reasons, which we don't need to get into.
Yeah.
That's a somber note to end that segment on.
That's who we are.
That's who we are. Let's look at the news. All right, so... the news. I mean, that was kind of news.
Open the newspaper, Marcelo.
What do we have? We could go back to the awards, circles, Critics' Choice. We could talk about what else were we missing, Siobhan? Because over the last few weeks, we've sprinkled some coverage of the LA Film Critics, the New York Film Critics, the Indie Spirit Awards. We went through the Golden Globes nominations. What else do we need to cover, Siobhan?
I believe we still have the People's Choice Award nominations and the Gotham Awards, which happened.
Okay.
I believe those are our two untouched ones.
Let's talk Gotham Awards.
Let's go to Gotham City.
Yeah. The Batman.
The Batman.
Home of the Batman. The Batman. All right. Here we go. Let's just run through them. It's not that many.
In the way.
Best and Joey, Siobhan, you can interject whenever you want. I'm just going to run through these. Okay.
Cool.
Breakthrough performer Brandon Wilson for Nickel Boys.
Heard that
Outstanding.
movie's good.
Yes. Did you,
Famous.
Joey? Did you know that Nickel Boys owes a lot in terms of its craft and I guess aura, its essence to Hardcore Henry technology? Yeah. Nickel Boys was
No, I didn't.
so okay. So this is our bit. I just want to make that very clear. This is our bit. But it's funny that Siobhan and I recorded a commentary for the POV shot action film Hardcore Henry like 2 months ago. And lo and behold, Nickel Boys, a potential Best Picture nominee, is also shot in point of view, first person. And as far as I know, those two films were like the last two major film productions of the last few years that have done two very I guess innovative things, right? But Hardcore Henry, have you seen that? First off, Joey, Hardcore Henry.
I did not see it. I saw a trailer, and it looked like it might give me motion sickness, and so I have not seen it.
It probably will. It probably will.
Absolutely.
If you think it will, it probably will.
Yeah. I wonder if Nickel Boys solved that problem.
We're hoping. Nickel Boys is getting a lot of awards attention. Marcelo just read off an award it won. And we're hoping if they make it to the big one, to the Oscars, and make it on stage for anything, we're hoping that the artists behind Nickel Boys, this movie about black teenagers growing up in the South in the 60s and facing prejudice, we hope that they give a shout out to Hardcore Henry and Charlotte Copley and everybody else involved with that production.
If not for those hardworking artists, for the gamer nation that was begging for a first-person shooter type movie.
Exactly.
Hashtag thank you, Henry. Outstanding supporting performance, Clarence Macklin in Sing Sing.
Ooh.
Outstanding lead performance, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. Let's skip through the best screenplay, His Three Daughters.
Oh, not on my radar at all.
Best director, Ramel Ross, Nickel Boys. Hashtag thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry.
Best feature, A Different Man, which I enjoy.
Lovely.
And finally, breakthrough director, somebody named Vera Drew.
Yeah.
The People's Joker.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Hold on. I recognize that name. Oh. That's our second best friend.
Yeah. Well,
Marcelo, you and I are best friends, and together, collectively, we are second best friends.
Okay. Yes, that's the bit. Okay. Any thoughts on these winners? Anything that sticks out, Siobhan, Joey?
It's very cool that I have met personally a breakthrough director of the Gotham Independent Awards or whatever, because I went to a screening of The People's Joker and I said hello and got a picture with her, and she was very nice.
You can say that.
Yeah. I've also met Vera Drew. She's very nice. I've also podcasted with her for at least... How many hours do you think, Siobhan, have we podcasted with her? Like 5? 6 hours?
Southland Tales commentary alone is like 240, right?
Ooh. Yeah.
So probably like 240, 440. I'm gonna say like 6.5, 7.
Yeah, 6.5. And let me tell you this: some friends in my life I haven't talked with them for more than 6 hours. So, okay, that's my point. All right, so that is that. I think that's the news. That's all the news that's fit to print. Siobhan, what's the next segment?
Well, of course, after we've introduced each other, after we've talked about the week's news, we then have to talk about...
We must.
What it is that we have been watching.
Yes.
In terms of film. Now, I would like to open this up to our guest first. And ask him, Joey, what is it that you have been watching? You give us just a couple films that you've seen recently. Doesn't matter how relevant they are or how old they are, whatever you've seen.
So let's see. A lot of what I've been watching in the last week or two has been prep for this podcast. So I will get into it when we're talking.
Yeah, don't spoil that stuff.
Yes. when we talk about our later category, I will go into that. But in addition to that, some recent watches. I watched Isao Takahata's Pom Poko, the Studio Ghibli film about a group of tanuki attempting to prevent the development of their forest by humans. And I did expect charming scenery and jokes about tanuki and their massive pouches, so to speak. What I did not expect was a film that also talks about the pros and cons of assimilation, the ethics of guerrilla warfare, spiritualism versus secularism in communities. A lot of big themes. And it was a beautiful movie that I'm really glad I spent 2 hours with. Pom Poko. Big recommend.
Pom Poko.
I don't know. I've been watching all the David Lynch movies over the last several weeks.
Oh.
Along with another podcast. And so I saw Mulholland Drive for the first time earlier this month, which was pretty damn incredible. With Tara Brockwell, a friend of the show. It's her favorite movie, so I got to watch it in conjunction with her, which was really wonderful. I don't know. We all got together on the TFS network and watched some terrible Christmas specials recently. That was fun. That was a good time.
Wow, so you were enjoying yourself there on the Discord, the Talk from Society Discord. If only there was a way for people to join that Discord. I don't think there is, though, Siobhan.
No. There is, Marcelo.
What?
Actually, I'll tell you how. If you're just any old Joe Schmo out there, Janet Schmanet, that wants to talk about film, talk about anything you want, games, whatever, music, you can come on over to our lovely community, our lovely talkfilmsociety.com/Discord. And we got a lot of lovely folks in there that are pretty active and talking, and it is a great place. I do genuinely mean that. I think it's a very, very good Discord.
It's an excellent
It's the
Discord.
perfect size, perfect amount of activity. It's great stuff. talkfilmsociety.com/Discord. Please come join. You are wanted.
Please.
Absolutely.
Please. Thank you, Joey, for sharing everything that you have watched recently. Siobhan, do you want to go next?
Why not? So I watched Cuckoo,
Ooh.
which was new on Hulu.
Cuckoo on Hulu.
New.
Who knew?
Who knew? Man, I don't know. Starring Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. I don't really know what to make of this yet. I really don't. I've sat with it for a couple days now. I thought it was just a deeply strange film. And I didn't really get too much out of it. I still don't think I really fully understand the plot or themes or really much of all of it. But there's something there. I do kind of want to give it a second watch. I'll say Dan Stevens, I shouted him out last episode for honorable mention for Best Supporting Actor. He's given this, over-the-top German scientist performance. He's just a gem. And,
I clearly
Hunter
don't know
Schafer,
what this movie is about.
don't ask me, man.
Okay.
And Hunter Schafer, compelling lead. But I don't know. Marcelo, you seemed more enthused about this film than I was.
I love this movie. According to Letterboxd, I have ranked Cuckoo in my top 10 of the year. Okay?
Wowzers.
Things could change between now and when I make my list, but to boil it down, to me, Cuckoo is speaking of Lynch, Joey, what you did earlier, hand to hand with Lynch, I think this movie shows us just another realm, like a nightmare, a dream you can't escape. I love the aura of it, and Tillman Singer, the director of this, also directed a little movie called Luz, Luz, that I saw in a theater back at Fantastic Fest, I think 2015 maybe. that movie really took me, just took me out because it felt like a movie from the 70s that they dug up and they screened, right?
That sounds great. That's my whole bag. Okay.
And Cuckoo, to me, watching it, gave me that same feeling. And it's hard for movies to do that to me because I'm always just honestly, I am. Sometimes it's like, okay, sure. And yes, it's hard to describe exactly what this movie's about, but it's entirely my shit. So yeah.
Since we are on the visual effects episode, I just want to shout out, like, I'm not going to bring it up later, but like there's a cool effect that the film uses repeatedly that kind of grows as the film goes on, even, and it's always awesome when it shows up. It's very disarming. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So I like Cuckoo, man. And I also mentioned Dan Stevens last episode. He's one of my favorite supporting actors of the year, and he's in this movie playing just a weirdo villain. Which I love that's his wheelhouse now, is playing weirdo characters in genre films. But yeah,
it's a big year for him, right? Because also Abigail came out, and at least one other Dan Stevens. Am I crazy?
Wasn't he? Didn't King Kong come out this year that he's also in?
Godzilla v Kong: The New Empire,
something like that. Yeah, that came out this year, right?
Yeah, it did. I considered watching it for this, but I didn't get to it.
It's fine. It's fine. He's having a ball in it, though. I like that he's in like a big studio movie like that.
Yeah,
playing another weirdo character. So that's Cuckoo, Siobhan. Anything else?
That is Cuckoo. I'm sorry, Joey. What?
No, I'm sorry. I had a segue, but you very much still have the floor, so I don't want to take it from you.
I deny your segue.
Okay.
Whoa. That was huge.
I watched.
This never happened before.
Previously on like I think a commentary or something, I said that I probably wouldn't watch this movie. I was unenthused about it. It was something that was like I could take it or leave it. But I decided to watch it. It was on Peacock. I got like a Black Friday Peacock deal, and
nice.
Not that much over there. So I decided to flip on Twisters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And good golly, did I have a ball.
Yeah, Twisters rules.
That's a fun ass movie, man. Like that's
a fun movie.
Just finely crafted action movie, and like really likable characters, performances, crazy effects that we'll talk about later.
We totally will.
And I really liked it, and I'm glad I watched it. It's just, I don't know. It really surprised me. It really did.
Yeah.
I guess my final thing here. I've got Marcelo. We've got to open up the Schrader Shredder.
Oh my God. God. Joey, of course you know what this is, right? We don't need to explain it.
I can infer from context that perhaps this is about films of the man Paul Schrader.
See?
Very close. Very close.
It's that easy.
It's films written by the man Paul Schrader.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the Schrader Shredder is.
Now, when he directs a movie.
Well, we'll get to it. So, Marcelo, last episode of the Schrader Shredder, you told me to watch the film Rolling Thunder, and you seemed really enthused by it.
It's a favorite of mine. I've seen it I think once or twice, but it stuck with me. And I picked it from a bunch of Shredder films you had lined up, your first time watches, and you went with that because I suggested. Now, what do you think?
Yeah, so I totally get it. It is a rock solid movie picture. It's about the veteran, the veteran experience and PTSD. About obsession. It has that classic Paul Schrader quiet protagonist that I just find so compelling every time. And, revenge themes, it's also a very common theme of his. But this is back in the 70s, earlier in its career. After Taxi Driver. Oh, man, I forget who the main guy is.
William Devane.
William Devane. He does a phenomenal job. I looked him up after, and I haven't seen him in too much, and I think he became a soap opera star pretty shortly after this movie.
Yeah. Why, but outside of Rolling Thunder, I mostly know him from the movie. It's not the movie. I wish it was a movie. The TV show 24. He was the president for a few seasons on that show. Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
But he just gives one of those fantastic, understated performances. A lot on his face. It's kind of like, man, I don't know why I want to say Robert Forster and Jackie Brown, but I do.
Yeah, I can see
that. That is a big face performance. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, and Tommy Lee Jones plays his friend from the war. And, it kind of all builds up to this revenge and for the murder of his son. And he, when it finally gets there, it's satisfying, and then it's over in a lick. Like they don't even let a single second go by. Like it's just like they killed the guys. It's over. Credits. And I appreciate it. It's a very solid picture. So good pick from the Shredder for you, Marcelo.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
Now, of course, we have to open up the directorial work of Paul Schrader, which is the segment Schrader's Shooters.
Which I'm sure also describes many characters he's written.
You know what?
Oh my,
Joey! I'm glad you said that.
Just in the film I just talked about.
This is Shooter.
So, Marcelo, tell me which one to watch for next week. We've got Hardcore, Touch, Dominion prequel to Exorcist, Light Sleeper, Adam Resurrected, and Forever Mine.
Okay. Now, I'd like to do something special and pass the reins to Joey.
Ooh,
oh no!
Okay.
I like this too.
Now, if you need the list read again, Joey, Siobhan can do it. I'm sure she can.
Yes.
So I will say that I will be responding entirely from vibes, as the only Paul Schrader movies I've seen are two of his shredders, Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, and none of his shooters, though I've heard good things about Master Gardener and First Reformed.
Yes.
But yeah, read them again.
Absolutely. Hardcore, Touch, Dominion prequel to Exorcist, Light Sleeper, Adam Resurrected, Forever Mine.
I am looking at the cast of Light Sleeper, and it looks like it's a Defoe picture where he's sharing the stage with Susan Sarandon, and that sounds pretty good. I'm going to vote Light Sleeper.
Nice.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
There we go.
Thank you, Joey.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Joey. All right. And with that, that is all that Joey and Siobhan has been watched. Now it's time for me. I mentioned two movies.
I'm watching for you.
Yes. I mentioned two movies.
My segue was denied, so I will leave that film unspoken, that I had a segue to say that I watched recently.
Great, because right now what I'm going to do is pass it to Joey. Joey?
Whoa.
Now the segue has been segue to you. All right,
approved.
Joey.
I'll be real quick. I did go see the Interstellar 10th Anniversary IMAX re-release.
Did you see it on 70?
Which was very cool. I did not get to see it in 70 millimeter, as both the 70 millimeter screening within driving distance of my house sold out immediately.
Why'd you even go?
Well, because I hadn't seen the film, Siobhan. I missed it 10 years ago.
This was a mistake. I should not have passed it back to Joey. This is a big mistake.
David Spade is in Light Sleeper. Holy hell.
Oh.
Okay, yes.
Anyway, I thought Interstellar was very good. I liked it.
Okay.
The effects were incredible.
Wait, sorry. We were having fun there. Remind me again, was that your first time seeing it?
Yes, that was my first time seeing Interstellar.
That's incredible. That is a movie that I did not go see it just recently because it feels like I just saw it, Interstellar. Okay. It's one I've gone back to of all his films. I've seemed to go back to that one the most, even though I don't love it as much as his other ones. But that one just keeps coming up. But I'm happy that it once again it's on a big screen where people can watch it because it's meant for that.
Yes, the sound in particular blew me away.
Yeah.
I could not believe how effective the being shook by that IMAX sound during space launches and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah. Incredible. Now, Joey may not have seen that movie on film, but I just saw a movie on film.
Thank God.
On
a hero, an American hero.
On glorious 35 millimeter, I saw Bergman's Fanny and Alexander.
Ooh.
Now,
okay, wow, Mr. Criterion Closet.
Yeah, it's my first time seeing it. My local art house theater, the Austin Film Society, they played it this past weekend. 3 hours long. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
I'm seeing a much longer runtime on my quick little Google here.
Yeah, let me explain. So I saw the three.
Reels.
Yeah, I saw.
Three.
They're like, whoa, we have to close. It's midnight. We got to close the theater. No, I saw the theatrical cut, which is the 3 hour version. Joey, you're probably looking at the extended TV miniseries cut, which I did not see. The theatrical cut is 188 minutes. The TV miniseries cut is 312 minutes.
5 hours and 12 minutes for those keeping score at home.
Good God.
Yeah. So, I because it was in a theater and because it was on 35 millimeter, I go, okay, fine. I'll go with the 3 hour cut, even though Bergman, I think later said he kind of regrets cutting it down because it loses some of its magic.
Sure.
And that's kind of a spoiler because there's a little bit of magic in there. I won't say too much, but it's like whatever version you find, I suggest you see it. That's obvious. It's a classic. I knew coming in it was a classic, but I don't know. Bergman always gets me. Bergman, I've seen just a handful of Bergman movies. I love Persona is in my top 10 of all time. And this is, could be right up there with a few more watches. It's a beautiful movie about growing up. It's semi based on Ingmar Bergman's real life growing up, and that I'm eager to see the extended cuts of this. It's also in the first act of the movie. It all takes place during Christmas, so it's a good Christmas time movie.
Perfect.
I don't know why I'm saying this now because now we're past Christmas by the time this is out. But if you want a Christmas watch for 2025, see Fanny and Alexander. That's one. Two, I saw the Todd Haynes 2015 film. Yeah, 2015 film, Carol, today.
Today?
You went caroling.
I went caroling. I came back from Carol.
Here you go, Carol.
I love this movie. This is my second time seeing it in the theater. I'm mostly going to bring this up just to tell this story. So, back when this movie came out, December 2015, I think I had just come back from a vacation, and I was not feeling great, but I wanted to see Carol. So, sat down, watched Carol, had a cup of coffee. I thought maybe this cup of coffee will make me feel better. That was a mistake, because by the third act of Carol, I started feeling sick. I had to get up. I had to just leave before the finale of Carol. Went to my car and threw up in the parking garage.
Oh no!
So I had to, months later when it came out on DVD, I had to rewatch.
You're feeling guilt over being a man.
It felt like Sarah Paulson was looking at me, saying, "I hate you, you straight man." No, but I'm very happy to see this on in full, not sick, because it's a beautiful movie. Cate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, they're fantastic. Everything that everybody's been saying about this for the last 10 years, I'm now fully on board. I obviously didn't get it the first time because. It was a bad experience, but now, I'm very happy to have seen it in full, and I'm totally on board with Carol. So that was me. That's me and Carol.
Also,
Ready to redeem your experience there.
Yeah,
that is nice. A nice redemption story for the moviegoer.
Yes,
I've been saying I'm still not fully on board with Carol, honestly, but
That's fair. That's fair.
But I haven't had that second viewing yet.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with like a new appreciation I have for Todd Haynes. Like I since watching Carol, watching 3/4 of Carol, back in 2015. Since then, I've seen his movie Safe. I saw Dark Waters. I love May December.
Yes, great movie.
I managed to see his bootleg. When I saw it through an illegal way. I saw his Karen Carpenter movie Superstar, which is notoriously hard to find. I think it's on YouTube though. But yeah, I saw that. So yeah, I came to Carol this time watching it as like a Todd Haynes super fan. So I really got more out of it this time than I did that first time. That's Carol. All right,
awesome.
And that is everything that I have been watching.
Woo.
I love it.
Segment done. All right.
We did it.
Now,
Segment done.
You may think that's the end of the show. And if we ended it there, honestly, if we ended it there, that's a good show. That's a solid show.
That's a show, man.
No notes, but we gotta do the business. We gotta get to it. Let's get into our categories.
Yeah, we've got some nasty business we got to take care of. Now, I would suggest, so our two categories this week, we have Best Animated Feature, Best Visual Effects. I would suggest we do visual effects first, and we save, since our guest is such a savant at watching animated films.
An animation head.
I think yes. In order to give VFX the attention and love it deserves, we should probably do it first.
I think that's our big finale.
Yeah, animation. I agree. Now the question is, who goes first when it comes to best visual effects? And we're counting down our top 5. I have some honorable mentions.
Our guest last week was in the middle.
Yeah.
Do we do guests in the middle again?
Let's do guests in the middle again. That seems like a good way to do things. Now it's just between Siobhan and I. Who goes first?
Okay. Oh, God.
You're going to flip a coin again?
Well, last week I flipped a hockey puck.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that again. Do you want to do that again?
Let's do that again. Yeah, here we go. Hockey puck.
Okay. Face up, that is Marcelo. Face down, it's me.
Okay,
here we go.
Puck, flip.
Here we go.
Face down. I'm going first.
All right, Siobhan goes first.
Okay.
Listing off her favorite films in regards to best visual effects.
Absolute faves in the world of visual effects this year. And I have a feeling I will be getting roasted. Okay. Honorable mentions. Just really quick. I liked the look of Roadhouse quite a bit. And they have a lot of cool like stunt choreography and I think CGI enhancement to a lot of the fights to make them look cooler. And then this is not on my list. And it's still not. It didn't make it. Honorable mention, The People's Joker.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
I had a feeling this would be brought up in this conversation.
Incredibly inventive use of special effects. We have so many different artists kind of making this exquisite corpse of different effects being just mashed together, and it all works for this film's weird, surreal reality. And they look fantastic. And and a lot of it is rough around the edges, and that only works to reinforce its DIY aesthetic. And I think I do genuinely think it's a great looking movie. It stands out, but I don't know. I just didn't put it on my top 5. I didn't do it, which is weird for me to say.
Yeah,
really weird. But you know what I did put on my top 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
No, yeah, you don't need to say anything. Yeah.
I want to know.
Because Joey can...
Okay, fine. Joey wants to know.
Give
that's
the
fair.
deeds.
Okay.
Tell us.
Fair.
Number 5.
Drop the T.
Alien Romulus.
Yes, Queen.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now, look.
Controversial pick.
All right.
Yes. Now, look. I wish I could put this higher on the list. But I can't. There's one reason why I cannot. I'll get to it in a bit. But, like, let me just say the praises. The lighting does so many favors to this effects work to make them look just absolutely gorgeous and, like, as close to reality as any of these alien things have looked. Maybe even back when they were majority practical. But, like, the face huggers, crazy. They're crazy good. When that one, like, gets on the window and starts, like, wiggling its fucking tongue around, like, it looks so damn good. The final creature design is amazing. It's terrifying. Really freaked me out the first time I saw it. There's this death involving the acid that I wish lasted a little longer, but it's still very brutal and, like, gives you exactly what you would want out of thinking the xenomorph acid is going to disintegrate somebody. And then there's just this gorgeous shot that I think it's easy to forget about, but it's of the ship. We see the exterior of the ship, and they're flying into the rocks of, like, Jupiter or something, the rings of Jupiter, and, you know, it's all, like, debris and rocks. And it's kind of like skating along the rocks and grinding into them, and sparks are flying and particles are everywhere. Just absolutely beautiful. Jaw-dropping stuff. But, you know, one big thing brings this down a lot, and that is their decision to use a puppet and then deep fake the face of an actor, a dead actor, onto that puppet's body.
The reason I did not see the film.
It looks fucking bad. At all times, it looks terrible. And I mentioned the lighting earlier being what sold most of these effects. I don't know what they were thinking with this lighting. They light this thing up like a stadium. Like, they want you to see this in full bright vision. And it doesn't make any sense for the presentation because of how just god-awful it looks. It's so uncanny and bad-looking. It looks just fake, terrible CGI, and then also, you know, deep faking a dead actor, AI usage. Like, it's just not, it's, you know, it's morally reprehensible in my view. It just, yeah, it looks god awful. And they had this, you see the behind the scenes stuff, they had this amazing looking puppet. Even if they're going to use Ian Holm, whatever the fuck, they use his likeness for a puppet, I could probably get by with it. They had this amazing puppet, and instead of just, like, slightly tweaking it with CGI, they do this full face replacement that just doesn't work. It looks bad. Oh, God, it is infuriating, because the rest of the film, like I said, just gorgeous, you know, some of the best visual effects I've ever seen. But, yeah, one big negative is, it's too big of a negative not to bring up.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah. I get it, yeah. It's that one bad mark that brings it down.
Now that I'm looking, this would have been my number one if that was better. If that was
wow.
better.
Yeah.
Really,
okay.
Yeah.
Did you pull up game footage, Shiv? Are you looking at those rings of Jupiter as we speak?
No, but I did watch it recently. I did watch
Cool.
those recently, and, like, that's what, like, really pushed me over the edge. I was like, wow, this is a good looking movie. A clip of that. Number 4. I don't know if anybody saw this. Probably not. This is okay. The movie is This Is Me Now. It is the Jennifer Lopez, like, kind of a visual album, but I'd say it skews more towards a movie. For Amazon. I was very impressed with how this looked. It has a lot of, like, really over-the-top creative fantasy sequences. One in particular I'm thinking of where she's, like, working in a factory and there's just all these machines buzzing and people doing choreography and sparks flying, and it looks just really clean. It looks really nice. And and like just crazy creative stuff. And I think so. Like Jennifer Lopez, I honestly think she was probably inspired by her work with Tarsem Singh in The Cell, because I see parallels between The Cell and this. And The Cell is one of the most beautiful looking movies of all time, I think. And this does a good job at replicating some of that magic. I actually like the movie. It was overlooked for a reason. And actually, now that the divorce has happened.
Am I correct that there's a sequence where like she and a bunch of other famous people are like Greek gods? Is that this movie?
Yeah. There's a lot of bouncing around and like just kind of like off, kind of like a skit. There's kind of like a skit nature to all of it.
Sure, vignettes,
but it is all interconnected. And all about her relationships, and then she gets divorced this year.
Yeah.
Number 3, brought it up earlier.
Twisters.
Hell yeah, Twisters.
Look at them Twisters.
Rain tornadoes. Fireworks and tornadoes. Fire tornadoes. These tornadoes, these storms, they feel violent and
we got twins.
We got twins. And twins.
And
they look amazing. They look fucking stunning.
They look rad.
The particles, the effect that like all the wind has on everything around it, both CGI and real, incredible. When objects and people get like ripped away by the storm, it's just like terrifying. It's so violent, scary. When the movie theater screen rips away. Like that shot, it's just unbelievable.
That's the highlight of the movie for me, that sequence.
Absolutely.
Incredible sequence.
Just a crazy set piece. And yeah, I did not care much to see this movie, but they more than sold me on seeing a Twisters is. So yeah, very, very impressed by that movie visually and everything about it. The whole thing. All right. Number 2, very different style, very different place, very different goals here. Hundreds of Beavers.
Hey.
My biggest blind spot of things I know I will love of the year.
Oh, Joey.
I mean,
Joey.
Every
Joey.
time it came to theaters in my area, I got COVID. It came to theaters in my area again, I was out of town. I have been trying. I know I can watch it at any time. On YouTube, whatever. I know it's out there. I kept wanting to see it in the theater, and twice it was denied to me by extraneous circumstances. I know it's going to be 100% my shit as soon as I see it.
They are still shopping it around. Like, it does appear in cities here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe they might have a tour map on their website or something.
I might watch it tomorrow. I have the day off. We might watch it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well, just watch it, because I watched it at home and I was plenty. Yeah. It was plenty for me. But yeah, it's this wildly creative blend of animation and other effects, practical effects, to just create this weird, surreal live action cartoon aesthetic. It looks, the look of this film is it's just phenomenal. It's the one thing like I absolutely loved about the movie. We've got literal cartoons. We've got tons of guys in raccoon and beaver suits.
I gotta see this movie.
I don't want to say too much more, actually. Now that, but there is one. No, look, there's cool stuff near the end. That's it.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Finally, my number 1. I am going to be scoffed at. I know it.
Ugh.
But I need to find my heart. I need to follow my heart.
Okay.
And I have I think I have one explicit reason why this is number 1. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ooh.
Yeah, shut up.
What reason?
What is it? I didn't say anything.
I mean, that's a visual effects movie. What blew you away?
Well, look, I think the desert looks amazing. When we saw stills of this movie and even the trailer, it kind of looked like dog shit to me. And then seeing it in motion, seeing it in the film, totally works. Looks great, in my humble opinion. But look,
is that entire desert on like Marvel green screen? Or did they film in a desert?
They filmed in a desert and then recreated that desert in CGI.
Did
Wild.
Do they use the Void? Yeah. Is that what that thing is called?
Yeah, the Void.
Is it the Void?
Is it the Void?
I know what you're talking about. The thing they use for the Mandalorian.
No, I do not believe they did.
Okay.
I do not believe they did use that. There is a shot in this movie that... Okay, so it's...
Oh, sorry. The volume is what Mandalorian
That's it.
used. Yes,
yeah,
the volume.
There you go.
Okay, sorry, Siobhan.
Well, I think the Void is the name of it in the movie. That's what I thought you meant. But anyway, there's a shot in this movie where the main villain, like Mistress X, I don't remember what the fuck
Cassandra Xavier or whatever.
She puts her hand like through the head of the guy from Succession.
Spyro, I think, in the movie.
No, he's the head of the TVA.
No, you're right. Oh, right. She does it to that guy, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She puts her hand into his head and starts, like, wriggling his fingers around, and you can see the fingers, like, rubbing under his skin and, like, pushing outwards, sometimes coming out of the skin. And it's a cool shot on its own. It's a cool shot just watching it. But what I did not learn until later, it's a close-up shot of these two actors, just their faces and like this weird hand shit happening under the skin of one of the actors. And what I learned later was that the entire shot, 100% of it, both actors, everything, was CGI. And it blew my mind. Like, those are genuinely, it is one of the most impressive effect shots I have ever seen. Like, very near the top, period. Like, you were watching this close-up of these actors, and, like, they looked perfect. It's a long scene, too. Like, it goes on for a while. And I did not, for a second, suspect that they were CGI. I thought they were completely real the entire time and they were just doing some fuckery. No, all of it CGI, which was crazy. It blew my goddamn mind. But then also the other stuff. I think like all the action movie, all the action stuff, the choreography, the stunts, the effects in relation to that, how that fight in the car and how the car gets beat up and stuff.
Yeah.
And, all the fake and real blood, all of it, it looks great. It looks great. Like I was so impressed by the look of this movie. And there's also really nice little details, like how Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four, they animated his effects like in the exact same way that was done for those original movies. Like, if you were going to do these effects today, you would do them in a different way, but they went back and used the same process that they used just for this Johnny Storm character for like 30 seconds or whatever.
I mean, the love they have for that era of superhero filmmaking is apparent.
Yes.
Like, that's the mission statement of the movie, is this shit that is 20 years old now, that has its ups and downs, but we're all nostalgic for it, has value and should be celebrated to some degree. You know?
Absolutely, and I think that comes through in the visual effects, like in that detail that I just said. Like, it's top to bottom that way. I will say that's my last bit to say on it, but I do have one last thing. I listened to the commentary for the film with Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy, and they started to piss me off after a while.
That makes sense. I'm not surprised.
It doesn't make sense. But for the reason... for the sole reason of they kept calling out everything as practical. No matter how much CGI was happening on screen, they were like, look at this. This is all practical. Like, you assholes. Like, they completely never once referenced the visual effects team. And it really did upset me. But look, their usage of it, I don't know, they still used it very well. So even though they're assholes about it, and honestly, it felt in a way kind of like a call, like just a wink at Disney to be like, hey, maybe start using a little more practical stuff in your other movies.
Sure.
Like, that'd be cool.
Or pay your visual effects artists a living wage.
Or do that. But yeah, look, Deadpool and Wolverine, I think it looks gorgeous. It's really good. I think that ends it for me. And I do believe Mr. Hamilton could follow me up.
Yeah.
What do you think? Best visual effects 2024.
Here we go. Okay. This was a year in which, as I was going back over my 2024 watches, there are certainly a couple of visual effects movies I didn't see that maybe I would have been blown away. I did not see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which has some pretty impressive mocap in the trailers. I have not yet seen Sonic 3, which means I have not gotten to enjoy the hard work of Tyson Hess and the many animators who bring those Sonic characters into, live-action animated settings. But I do have 5 movies here. Plus, I am also going to give an honorable mention to The People's Joker, which those DIY aesthetic effects played like dynamite with a full crowd here in Dallas, and were very cool to see. I'm really touched by this generation of TV and movie filmmakers who feel inspired by like the just make something no matter what it takes to make it, like good, bad, everything in between, of like the Newgrounds generation. Like, I don't know if either of you.
Newgrounds, yeah.
Yeah. But like, stuff on Adult Swim these days is like very much Newgrounds animators getting to play with like corporate budgets for the first time. And watching The People's Joker, I was like, this is like, born and bred making weird, cool shit on the internet into a deeply, cool personal story. Okay, let's hit this top 5. Number 5, an animated film, but that was fully animated by a visual effects studio. And so I wanted to give it a place on my list. Transformers 1.
Okay.
Which I think falters in some regards in terms of its script. In particular, one character who's very, very annoying. I'm sorry, Bumblebee. I did not care for you in this film.
Oh, no.
But it looks pretty damn great, especially considering there's never been a Transformers movie set entirely on Cybertron. And these animators and these visual effects artists had to make a ton of characters, all with a ton of little moving parts, in a world full of a ton of machines, full of a ton of little moving parts, and make everything look really good. And I was really impressed by that. So shout out to Industrial Light and Magic, legendary VFX studio, who animated this movie for Paramount. Number 4 is Wicked. I think the animal characters in Wicked and a lot of the visual effects shots look really good. I was surprised that the muted color did not actually frustrate me in the actual movie. I do wish it was a little more Technicolor. I love Technicolor. But overall, in terms of like the visual design of the movie, I was impressed. And I think that in terms of the things that hold back Wicked for me, surprisingly, the visual effects were not one of them. So Wicked takes a slot on my list. Was that a boo, Marcelo? Do you not like how Wicked looks?
No, I know. I said ooh. Okay. Because I did not have that on my list at all. So yeah. I've given my thoughts on the look of Wicked and the stage to screen episode I did with Elise.
Yes.
But I remember, I think I said it in that episode, not a big fan of the animals in that movie, and I have my qualms with that. But hey,
I will say I saw Wicked within days of seeing Gladiator 2, where I think the CGI animals looked awful in Gladiator 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I feel like going from the like attempting to be realistic, but then they just stand out as kind of awkward CGI animals in Gladiator 2, to the stylized, fantastical CGI animals in Wicked. That comparison, I think, certainly helped bump it up a little bit.
Gotcha.
In my brain.
Yeah, that's fair. Because like the CGI in Gladiator 2, it's bizarre. Some of it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Number 3, Furiosa.
Hey.
The George Miller film. If you had not told me that they did visual effects to make that little kid look more like Anya Taylor-Joy, I would never have guessed. I think that is an extremely effective use of the same deepfake technology that pissed me off with a dead actor, impressed me in Furiosa.
Interesting. I remember being pretty struck by how much they looked alike. That's cool.
I was reading an interview several months ago when the movie came out, and they were talking about the visual effects, how they did a little bit of like sort of blending work there to make the transition from that young actress's performance to Anya Taylor-Joy's performance. The kid is great. I feel bad I don't know her name off the top of my head.
Or her face.
Her face, apparently. But, I mean, between that, I mean, the incredible kite fight, I don't know what else to call it, but with like, the parachute dudes, I'm sure a lot of that was practical, but, it's a combination of visual effects and stunt driving and practical, George Miller effects work. I think there's a lot of really striking imagery in that movie, and while a lot of it is practical costume and production design, the visual effects really bring it all together.
I was going to say, I will save my mentions of Furiosa for later.
Cool.
I did see a little bit of the behind the scenes for the kite fight.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's dope. It looks dope.
Yeah,
it's so dope.
I would recommend looking it up because it's cool how they did it.
Nice. Number 2 is Twisters.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
I want to say that I loved seeing Twisters. I officially became a Glenn Powell fan this year with the film Hitman. He finally fully won me over. I'm officially on the Glenn train. But those storms are freaking incredible. Like I said, that movie theater sequence for me is one of the like big action visual effects set pieces of the year. I'm really impressed by the visual splendor and the fear and the danger, and I can only imagine how it felt for people that saw that sucker in 4DX, which is not available in my market.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I also want to say that when I went into that movie, there was not a drop of rain in the sky, and when I left it, it was a enormous downpour, and it scared the shit out of me.
That's great. Now, you did see the 4DX experience.
Yeah, I really did. And finally, what to me is probably the obvious contender for most impressive visual effects of the year, Dune Part 2.
Ooh. That's a ooh for me.
Yeah. Throughout the movie, there is some pretty, incredible visual effects stuff with the vehicles and the explosions and the Harkonnens and everything. And that whole sequence, like shot in black and white on the Harkonnen home planet, which I'm sure some of that is, just camera work and some of that is visual effects. But, Paul Atreides riding the worm in IMAX is to me the visual effects shot of the year. An absolutely stunning technical achievement that I do not understand what they did. Like, is he just on a green screen saddle and then they made a big ass worm, or is he riding a machine, or what? But it blew me away. That whole sequence is absolutely stunning. Lisan El Gaib, my visual effects winner of the year, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2. Solid picks from a solid guest. Thank you, Joey.
Player.
Thank you very much.
Marcelo.
Yeah. All right.
I would encourage you.
Okay.
That if you are feeling it, then you should just chase it and give us your top visual effects.
All right. I feel the need to list my favorite visual effects of the year. Honorable mention, I have one, Queer by Luca Guadagnino. This kind of veers into production design, but visual effects plays a part. There are moments in Queer where, and I think pictures of this and behind the scenes video of this appeared on Twitter the last few weeks, but there are moments when we see like exterior shots of buildings in Queer that are actually miniatures, and they're shot like they are like exteriors. Like visually, it's beautiful when those shots come up on screen, and you think, oh, is that real or is that fake? It's a bit of trickery. So I love just the aesthetics of that. Just choosing to, go back and shoot miniatures again, and going back to an older way of shooting a movie. And also it's a great looking movie too.
I think that's cool. Just to piggyback off that just a little bit, I did briefly consider Luca Guadagnino's other film, Challengers, for that one scene of hitting the ball back and forth in the first person perspective from the ball.
Yeah.
Because when you see how that was done, like, it's quite the amazing effect.
I have no idea how that was done.
It's partially practical, and then they recreated it with CGI, and then they had to do stuff like when you see through the bottom of the court, they created a glass court and put it up there. Yeah, like they do some really cool shit with effects in the movie. But, and it's really like, it's hidden, it's subtle. They move it, they meld it with the movie. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Luca, good director. All right, agreed. My top 5. Number 5. Some would say I'm braver than most for putting this on my number 5. Wow. When somebody else put it in their honorable mentions, I put The People's Joker at number 5.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And wait, remind me, Joey, did you have People's Joker in your visual effects?
I gave it an honorable mention. Honestly, I can easily see swapping it with Transformers 1.
Gotcha.
I think I really wanted to shout out ILM being a visual effects studio that got to make an animated movie this year.
Yeah.
It's pretty flip-flop.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm the bravest one here. So yeah, People's Joker,
braver
number
than
5.
The troops, Marcelo, for sure.
So yeah, I've mentioned, Siobhan and I have mentioned for sure on other episodes, just like they're making a People's Joker, how, yes, exquisite corpse, and a lot of artists came together. But it, from the multimedia effects from many artists, like the CGI effects, the animated effects, puppeteering, like all of it came together just to show this one, like, just beautiful story written by Vera Drew, and directed by Vera Drew. So yeah, excellent visual effects for a movie that is now nominated at the Indie Spirit Awards for the John Cassavetes Award. So gotta shout that out. Number 5. Number 4, Better Man, starring a monkey. This is my monkey movie. I guess is he a monkey or an ape? Oh, it says right here, he's an ape. So yeah, it's okay. This movie is weird. I saw this at Fantastic Fest. Based on Robbie Williams' life. This is a musical biopic where he is replaced in the movie. It's not a standard biopic. I mean, it is, but take out the human lead and put in an ape or a monkey. Yeah.
Does he voice the ape?
He voices the ape.
Okay.
And between this and Piece by Piece, this is a big year for musicians taking on strange animated forms to tell their stories.
Yeah.
And this is me now, the Jennifer Lopez thing.
Oh, there we go. That's 3.
And I think it is a solid effect, because I get lost in the story, and I forget for a moment that I'm watching an ape, not a man, perform as Robbie Williams. And yeah, effective effects work. I mean, I think for me this is more interesting than like a Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, because it does something with like it does visual effects in a story you don't expect to have visual effects like this, and it does pull it off. In my opinion, I like the movie. It might be a little bit divisive for people. Sure, that's fine, whatever. But the effects stand out. Number 4. Number 3, Dune Part 2.
Woo!
Yes, just basically piggybacking on what Joey said. It makes the seemingly impossible, like, moments in the original Dune book, feel real. Even like something as, quote unquote, small as we we see a lot more of the God. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. A few months. What is it that they're digging for? Digging for spice, right?
Spice.
Those spice miner, like big old boys. Those big robots, right? Like
yeah, totally.
Yeah, those like where the rebellion led by Zendaya and Chalamet, where they're going against these big old things, like those moments are extraordinary. Just even that. But yeah, I a lot of what I say about Dune Part 2, I've said in the past, Dune Part 1, but it adds even more, like the black and white sequence. It's like that planet,
so cool.
Just, oh God, just taking us to another world in that way, like something we've never seen before. So yeah, incredible. Dune Part 2 landing in my number 3. My number 2, Furiosa. Yeah. I love the visual effects in Furiosa. It does it, I think, purposefully, and I think he can do whatever he wants at this point. George Miller. It's not like Fury Road. A lot of people's main complaint about Furiosa is that it's not enough like Fury Road, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if George Miller found a way to use more CGI and less practical effects when, throwing people hundreds of yards in the desert. Whatever helps stunt people, not risk their lives. I'd rather see visual effects done in an interesting way like this rather than, I love Fury Road, but every time I see it, the magic is, I hope nobody died on this set. But there's less of that in Furiosa, I think, for the better. But it is visually appealing. And yeah, I love that movie, and I'll be talking about it more as the season progresses because a lot of what's happening in there I love. I shouted out Chris Hemsworth last episode for Best Supporting Actor. So we'll see if the Furiosa train keeps going. That's my number 2. My number 1, it's been mentioned before, but I love a swing. I love filmmakers just making something real on screen that I didn't think of. Hundreds of Beavers. It is watching a live action Looney Tunes cartoon, but God, just the jumps it makes as it progresses. Yeah, it keeps topping itself with what's happening, and the effects, as low budget, as indie as they are, innovative. It's artistry. I love it. That's number 1 of the year. Hundreds of Beavers. That's it.
I'm so excited. I don't know why I've withheld it from myself for so long. I've watched 200 movies this year, and the fact that one of them isn't Hundreds of Beavers is a crime.
You've been edging Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah, I really have.
All right.
I have a quick awards nerd question for the two of you as we're in this season.
Absolutely,
we're experts. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Chris Hemsworth not lead actor in Furiosa? Is it because Furiosa is the lead character, there's no male lead, and so he's just like the head supporting?
I wouldn't call him a lead actor.
He's in as much of the movie. Like I'm considering him in lead for my favorite performances of the year.
It's all like that kind of thing is subjective and weird, and I think maybe they just feel like they have more of a shot at supporting, but I don't know, in my head he feels like supporting.
Because
he's supporting the narrative too, like in a literal sense. Like I don't feel like he's like what the movie's about. I feel like he's like supporting Furiosa's story overall.
Yeah, typically for me, villain characters are kind of relegated to supporting the supporting slots. So I'm with you.
I guess that's
Joe.
fair.
That's a weird
to me, the movie is so much about the push and pull between them of
sure,
his role as both her father and her nemesis, and everything in between, and it's a twofer. When I think about the movie, I think about Furiosa, and I think about God, what is his name? He's got an incredible name.
Chris Hemsworth.
No,
it's totally fair. It's a fair viewpoint.
Yeah,
Imperator Max or something. Imperator. Is that not it?
It's not Imperator Rex. I thought it has a D in it. Am I crazy?
Dementus.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dementus. No, but yeah, it's it could be category fraud, could be whatever. But and frankly, for me, I put him in supporting actor because my lead actor spots were pretty heavy. So, all right.
Cool.
Where are we? Siobhan? What's going on? Who's next?
Well,
we're switching categories.
We're switching categories.
We're switching categories.
We're heading on from CG enhancement to entirely CG in some cases.
Not all cases, but yeah.
Not all
In
cases.
some.
Thanks, Prospector. Okay, I just want to make that clear.
And we're going to Best Animated Feature Film of the Year, 2024.
All right.
I believe, Marcelo, it is your turn to go first.
Yes, because we're going backwards. Yes. Reverse order. They flip it.
Yes.
All right. Like last year, I'm going to preface this. As of this recording, like last year, I'm missing out. I failed to watch all the animated films I wanted to watch. Okay, so
Fuck you.
okay, hold on. Wait, hold on.
I also did not see every animated movie I wanted to see, and I watched like 8 to 10 for this.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good animation this year.
So, famously, last year, I added Scott Pilgrim Takes Off in the best animated film in my top 5, and I admit that was a cheat. Okay, that not a movie, right? I'm just gonna be upfront. My top 5, a little bit controversial. All right, so here we go. I have no honorable mentions, by the way, and the films I haven't.
You have a top 5 though.
I do have a top 5,
okay.
but much like last year, my top 5 included one that really shouldn't count. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I missed out on. I mean, maybe I should have seen Moana 2, but I didn't have it in me. I really wanted to see Memoir of a Snail, but I missed out on that. So those two I missed, and now here are my top 5. Top 5, starting with 5, Transformers 1. Now, before anybody is excited,
that should be 1 in the title.
Oh, sorry, I misread this. Transformers 5 is at my number 5.
Rise of the Beasts.
I'm not a huge fan of this. I'll admit though, the animation style is solid. I like how it looks. I like that it doesn't go back to the Michael Bay. They could have just done Michael Bay's version of Transformers animated style, but they didn't. I appreciate that. But I'm not a big fan of the story. This is a very soft 5 in my top 5. I apologize. I'm not a huge Transformers 1 fan. My number 4, The Wild Robot.
Hell yeah.
I'll say again. Don't get excited because I've said this a few times already. I'm not a big fan of The Wild Robot.
Gasp.
I can say I appreciate the craft, I appreciate the look, but I did not have the best time by the end. I was expecting one thing, came out with something else, kind of did not meet my expectations, so that's my number 4. Two soft entries. My apologies.
I mean, we're going to go into The Wild Robot then. I want to know your feelings, but we'll get back into it.
Yeah. Okay, so my top 3, this is getting into the all hands on deck. Marcel likes these movies now. My number 3. This one surprised me, I think, more than the other ones on this list. Okay? It might surprise you. Inside Out 2. I liked Inside Out 2 a lot. More than I was expecting. Inside Out 1 was my favorite movie of the year. 2015? Yeah?
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, tied with the documentary The Look of Silence. Quite a year. But yeah, Inside Out 2, I didn't see it in theaters. And I would not have seen this if it wasn't for this episode. If I didn't, have to see it just to catch up on, awards talk. So I almost begrudgingly sat down last week to see this, and I was like, okay, fine, I have Disney Plus now, let me turn this on. I was pretty much enthralled. I was into the story. I liked the new characters. I thought they did some inventive things. My heart was touched. I'm a fan of Inside Out too. That's shocking. Okay? That's my number 3. My number 2, here's the controversial one. Okay? Here we go. My number 2 is Robot Dreams. Now, wait. Now, you're going to go, wait, Marcelo. Robot Dreams. That was nominated for an Oscar last year. Why are you talking about it now, right? Well, this has an asterisk next to it because I saw this in 2024. A lot of people saw this in 2024. Long after the Oscars came and went. Did not win the Oscar for Best Animated Film. But it was nominated last year. But, you know, I got to shout it out because it was not on my list last year. I had not seen it to make the list. I made my list last year without having seen Robot Dreams. So now, here we go. Rolling over Robot Dreams to 2024/5. Robot Dreams is my number 2. I love the movie. Another heartwarming story, dialogue-less adventure of a robot and his dog companion, or vice versa. The dog is really the lead, and the robot is the companion. Beautiful story. I love it. Seen it twice now. All about Robot Dreams. That was my number 2. Controversial pick, I know. Number 1, I've been raving about this for months now, seemingly. Telling everybody about it. Should be no surprise if you know me. Flow.
Yeah.
Starring a black cat in a mystical world where there's a great flood, and him and a bunch of animals he befriends have to survive. Beautiful movie. I love the animation style. Another heartfelt, like really pulled my heartstrings, and I love this movie. I loved it. And Siobhan is yawning right into the mic. So that is my number 1. Those are my top 5 of the year.
Do we actually follow the rules and go to Joey next? Marcelo, what do you think? Or do we say Joey?
I would like to go last, if possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Siobhan.
That's a good idea. Okay. Last year, I don't believe I watched any animated films, and okay. I had nothing to bring to the table for our animated episode. I want you two to guess, has that changed?
I'm going to wager to guess. Sorry, Joey. I was just going to say, I'm going to say you've seen at least one animated film. That's my guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess you saw 2.
You saw 2. Are those your official guesses for?
Yes.
I saw 1 and I saw 2.
Yes.
Well, boys, hate to disappoint you.
You've seen 5.
I made a top 5.
Whoa! Yeah! Holy shit!
Hooray!
Oh, fuck.
With it, I had not seen any animated films before this episode got scheduled, and at the original time it was scheduled, it was like 2 days until it started, and so I ended up watching like 7 movies in those 2 days.
Let's go. 5
of them were animated.
Whoa.
So, here we go.
My God.
Number 5. Despicable Me 4.
Okay.
Banana.
Yeah, I never cared much for these little yellow bastards, and I turned it off after about an hour.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Now, numbers 4, 3, and 2 are a trilogy of animated films that came out this year.
Holy shit, okay.
Okay.
It's Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. Part 3 is at number 4, Part 2 is at number 3, and Part 1 is at number 2.
Incredible.
Okay, so this is a legendary comic book storyline. I know nothing about it.
It sure is.
I'm just going to start with Part 1 and work my way down. Part 1 is pretty good. It's a decent animated film. I've never watched any of the Justice League animated films. I've seen a few Batmans, but never watched any of the Justice Leagues or Supermans or anything like that. But so these are the first of these that I've seen. But this first one, pretty damn good. It's kind of Flash's movie, as he kind of like seemingly randomly hops back and forth in time, and he has this great emotional arc with his wife, Iris. And it kept me questioning, and that I think that emotional tie and centering on a character, centering on Flash, I think kept the movie quite engaging. It gave me something to focus on other than the main plot of the movie, which is that there is a mysterious force that is sending out antimatter waves that will completely wipe away any number of planets just in an instant. Basically, it just takes a few seconds, and this big blue wave just wipes the planet out from existence. These movies look okay, but like the effect of the antimatter wall, I think that should have looked terrifying, and it kind of just looks like this blue streak that just kind of shoop, and it's over. Like it doesn't look that intimidating, and I'd say that kind of just goes for everything. Like, my feeling is in my head that this is a trilogy that they were given their regular budget plus a little bit extra to turn into 3 movies instead of making like 1 movie or whatever. And so, like, the animation on the whole in these 3 things, not incredibly impressive, which was unfortunate. But it has its moments. Now, and also Jensen Ackles is Batman now. Yeah,
he's been playing him in a couple of these animated projects.
I don't like him. Not good. Not good. Get a new Batman. Genevieve Ackles' husband. Just not a good... Not the best Batman. Now, we'll move on to number 2. So that Flash storyline was able to sustain me through number 1. Now, number 2 is mostly about the character Psycho Pirate.
Oh, yeah.
Who I had never heard of. He was invented for this original Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. And I guess I shouldn't say centered around. It's lots of mini stories with, like, you could tell the animators were excited to be working with, like, kind of underutilized characters, people I don't get to interact with much. Mm-hmm. The writers and the animators were probably really stoked to, like, be able to use actually, it's interesting, like Mr. Terrific, who was just in the Superman trailer. I'd literally never seen him before until I watched this, and then he was in the Superman trailer a week later.
One of the smartest guys in the DC universe. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, and he actually plays a pretty damn big role. So yeah, there's a fan servicey stuff. I think the writing's a little plain. Anyways, yeah, this is a ton of like B stories and C stories. It feels like a middle chapter movie. And then part 3, fuck, it's weird. The first
Which of these has Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman in it?
It is part 3.
Okay.
And yeah, we have Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman, and we also have Mark Hamill's Joker one more time. And like we see their Earth, and it gets wiped out. Anyway, this one introduces this like weird time travel gimmick where things are like bleeding in from different timelines. And so like the first 45-50 minutes, like we have this crazy, the entire stakes of the universe are on the line, and we spend like 50 minutes watching Wonder Woman fight dinosaurs.
Oh, shit.
Like,
okay.
What the fuck are we doing here? And then they go fight Nazis for a while. And then they go to a saloon, like an old bar saloon, and get into a bar fight.
I'm overthinking this, but I know in the DC comics there's an Earth X, which is just Earth, but it's like taken over by Nazis. Is it that one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Possibly. Anyway, it just felt like, why are we spending so much time on these weird fucking small potatoes things when this is like the trilogy capper for the fight of the fate of the entire multiverse? And anyway, And again, the effects are underwhelming. The score is boring. The writing is fine, and the pacing just sucks. It's as a trilogy, it kind of fails. I could recommend that first one, but then also, if you watch one, why wouldn't you watch all three? So I'm not even going to do that. But the first one is good. I liked it. So that's those. They're fine at best. My number one. Now, I've been apathetic about everything so far.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear your winner.
Do I like this movie is even a question. And that answer is yes. I really like this movie.
Hooray!
I liked Watchmen Chapter 1.
Hell yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, I really wish I had watched the Garfield movie. I didn't have access to it anymore. I wanted to watch it so bad, though.
Oh, wow.
Starring potential Best Actor nominee Nicholas Hoult as John.
But yes, Watchmen Chapter 1. It is a very one-to-one recreation of the comic, and I've heard some people question, what the point of that is. But in my head, I was very wrapped up in it because it is a goddamn good comic and a good story, and I think it deserves to be told again have it told in a format like this. The voice cast does a phenomenal job. Rorschach and Ozymandias especially. Rorschach, they have some fun with the animation with Rorschach. His mask blobs, they are constantly moving. They're constantly shifting, which I think is a really cool effect and kind of adds a little something to the mystique of the character. Well, mystique, I mean, we all know, whatever. But and also
X-Men.
The films.
Yes, X-Men.
The films, it's 3D animation with a 3D 2D look. 3D made to look 2D, and it looks great. Makes scenes feel dynamic, makes them feel more real, I think, more tangible. And we get this is only the first half of the story. The second half is out, chapter 2. It's not on Max. I'd have to buy it or get the 4K or whatever. But which I'm kind of chomping at the bit to do. I can't wait until I can watch it. But they do tell Dr. Manhattan's whole story here, his whole creation. And it's this riveting 10 to 15 minute sequence. Phenomenal effects, great acting, that constant Dr. Manhattan narration that's at this really lifeless tone. Just, God, it was great. Really just a standout sequence. And so I would actually recommend this one. I would say if you have any interest at all, I think these two chapters, I haven't seen chapter 2 yet. I can't verify, but I have a feeling it'll be at least fine. And I would actually very much recommend these. It made me want to rewatch Snyder's movie. It made me want to reread the novel. And that's just, those are good things, and it made me excited to see part 2. So yeah, I wholly would recommend the Watchmen 2 bits that came out this year. And thank you for your time. That is me.
Solid list, Siobhan, from
Hell
a
yeah.
solid co-host. Now,
Very solid. Rock
all the very hardworking artists, dozens of whom I admire at Warner Brothers Animation, are so thrilled for the amount of time spent on their
There we
on
go.
their work.
yeah.
Yeah, nobody's talking about these. I mean, there
It's
is
true.
not really a place that talks about this stuff.
And now, the main event. Joey's top 5 animated films of 2024.
Yes, this is it. I've been waiting for this, man. I'm really
Okay.
excited.
So,
Here we go.
my friends, I was
I didn't
actually
see top 5. You
No,
didn't
I
see
have a top 5 and several honorable mentions. I was actually very pleased that this episode record was bumped a couple of days, because in between the original date of our scheduled record and now, the Annie Awards nominations came out, which is the annual animation industry awards. And when the Annie Awards come out, it is often a great metric for me to look and see, like, okay, what did they nominate for best feature and like best studio feature from like a major studio, which they call best feature, and then best feature independent, which is often going to smaller movies or movies made by studios outside of the United States that were then distributed by, say, G-Kids in America. And I was very pleased to see that I had seen many of them, but there were a few that I had missed. And you know, you two invite me on this show now for the second year, and I hope for many years in the future. And part of my responsibility as a big animation dork is to highlight a bunch of different movies of many different art styles by artists from around the world, who are working their butts off to make this medium thrive in a time where, you know, today the Animation Guild successfully ratified another contract for 3 years, and have decided not to strike. You know, some of their demands were met, some of them were not. It's going to be an interesting next couple of years for animation, but this has been a really banner year for animation, so I'm very excited to highlight some excellent films that I hope everyone will go check out.
Thank you.
We're going to start.
Thank you, Joey, for that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
No, that bit of context is thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Of course. Let's get into it. We got a couple of honorable mentions here, real quick. Last night, I watched a really good 2D hand painted French animated movie that is available on the Criterion Channel, that technically came out in 2023 in France, but got a 2024 release in America. It is called Chicken for Linda. Have either of you heard of this film?
No.
Okay. If you have a chance to look up what this movie looks like, either in a screenshot or a muted video or whatever, I highly recommend you do. It is absolutely stunning. It is a movie set in France, where a mother...
It looks really cool.
Yeah. It's got these like monochromatic characters in watercolor backgrounds with a lot of contrast between like lights and darks. And it's this really beautiful story about a mother who, after getting in a fight with her daughter where she acted in a way that she quickly became deeply ashamed of, she is desperate to make it up to her daughter with a grand act of kindness. She's a single mother, and the father passed when the daughter was young. And the daughter insists that they make chicken with peppers, which was the last meal that the family all had together before the dad died. And this leads to a madcap, the whole town gets involved, chain reaction, slapstick adventure of attempting to acquire chicken for Linda during the general strike in Paris at the time, where the movie is set. It's beautiful. It's got some nice song sequences. There is a scene where a car drives at night that made me say "holy shit" out loud. It is a truly beautiful movie, and I think the main reason it's on here as an honorable mention is because I just saw it, so there's a bit of recency bias, and it did technically come out in 2023 in France, though I will be cheating a bit with a different movie on this list a little later because I loved it so much. But Chicken for Linda, absolutely worth your time. It's only an hour and 15 minutes. It's like a perfect little afternoon movie. Truly, truly beautiful.
Very cool.
Two more quick honorable mentions. Look Back is an anime movie based on a manga from the guy that created Chainsaw Man. And it's about two girls that form a friendship through art. And then there is sort of a Chainsaw Man-esque tone shift in the middle when tragedy befalls them. It looks great. The story is nice. That tone shift did not completely work for me. But again, it is short. It is sweet. It is on Prime. It is absolutely worth your time. A very good anime movie from this year. And my last honorable mention is Orion and the Dark. Available on the Netflix service, deeply unadvertised by the Netflix service, is one of 3 movies that came out this year from DreamWorks Animation. It is, no joke, a Charlie Kaufman movie for kids. Charlie Kaufman wrote this movie. It is about fear and anxiety and learning to grow and face both of them. It's got, like, framing devices and shifts in time and all the shit that you expect from a Charlie Kaufman story. I've only seen adaptation, but from what I understand about Charlie Kaufman movies, it is very much his vibe. But it's appropriate for you to watch and for you to watch with your kids. And if you've got a little guy who has anxiety, or you are a person with anxiety, much like myself, I think that its story will really resonate with you. And it's got some very nice performances from Jacob Tremblay and Paul Walter Hauser and Angela Bassett, and many others. And it's very good, and nobody talked about it because Netflix doesn't know how to advertise their original programming anymore. So, Orion and the Dark would definitely recommend checking that out.
Okay.
All right. Here is the top 5. Number 5.
Yes.
Hey.
Number 5 is Ultraman Rising. Another Netflix feature from Shannon Tyndall, who is a brilliant character designer and formerly at Laika, the makers of Coraline. And he was the original board artist and director for Kubo and the Two Strings before he left the project in the middle of it. And it was taken over by Nike money man and animator Travis Knight, who runs Laika. Ultraman Rising is a movie about parenting filled with giant kaiju battles. It is an adaptation of the Ultraman Super Sentai show, but you do not need to know very much about Ultraman to enjoy it. It lays out all the pieces right at the beginning for you to quickly understand. It has one of, for me, the animated characters of the year, Emmy, who is a 20-foot tall newborn kaiju, who Ken Sato, the current Ultraman, has to raise after sort of being in a fight with her mother and suddenly having to, the baby imprints on him. The character designs are fantastic. Everybody looks like they could be a stop-motion maquette, even though it is a CG animated film. There's awesome action sequences. There's really heartfelt moments between fathers and sons and fathers and daughters, and like, what does it mean to take care of someone and watch them grow, and how does that resonate with who you are as a person and your own journey? It's really resonant stuff for, I would say, current parents and maybe people that are thinking about being parents, but also people that don't want to be parents but want to watch somebody else go through it. And there's giant robot kaiju monster battles. It's fucking awesome. So Ultraman Rising, big recommend from me.
All right.
Number 4 is Memoir of a Snail.
The movie I wanted to see.
A excellent stop-motion animated film out of Australia. From, I hate that I can't remember his name, but he is the director of Mary and Max, a film that received wide acclaim many years ago, and I know is beloved by one of our friends here on the Talk Film Society Network. It is by Adam Elliott. That is the director. One of the most incredible tightropes of tone that I've ever seen. It is a movie filled to the brim with absurd levels of heartbreak and depression and tragedy, and yet somehow you leave the theater with hope and humor in your heart. A gorgeous film that truly feels handcrafted in a way that all stop-motion movies do, but especially this one. It's chock full of great detail and design. And it is very much a memoir. It is a woman telling the story of her life and all the ups and many downs of it. And you are along for the ride with her. I got to see it for free because I got an invite to a Letterboxd screening, and that was very cool. And it's divine. It's a great movie. If in a year where there were fewer great movies, it would probably be even higher on the list. But Memoir of a Snail. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere yet, but I would definitely recommend seeing it. My number 3 and number 2, I was going back and forth on. I got to make a right now call on it. Okay. Number 3 is The Wild Robot.
Okay.
I loved The Wild Robot. I know Marcelo, it seems, did not have as good a time with it. But
right.
I was really blown away by the visual design, by Lupita Nyong'o's performance, which to me is one of the performances of the year. I can't think... the only vocal performance that rivals it for me is funnily enough, Brian Tyree Henry in Transformers 1, who I think was fantastic. But Lupita, just with her voice, and presumably, the animators likely used, reference footage of her performing for Roz's character animation. But the journey of Roz from machine to parent to person, and how the way that she changes as a character through her involvement with the many animals on this island where she crash lands, and where she suddenly has to find purpose in her very narrow set robot definition of purpose, and how that purpose expands. I thought was just absolutely fantastic. This is almost certainly going to be the big winner in the awards of the year. It was a film that was both critically and commercially successful from a major studio. Big heartfelt emotions, great vocal performances. The director, Chris Sanders, is certainly a darling of the animation industry, between Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, and to a lesser extent, The Croods and Call of the Wild, his other 2 movies. But an incredible return to form from Chris Sanders, and he's talked about wanting to keep that team together at DreamWorks to make a sequel, because the book that it's based on is part of a trilogy. And I would love to see that happen. I would love to see these characters get another go-round in coming years. Number 2 is Flow. Hey. I'm back and forth on this one. Not because I didn't like Flow. I was really blown away by it. What is really special about Flow is that the movie is a total... it's a visual tour de force with fewer resources than most animation studios have. It was entirely rendered in Blender, which is a commercially available animation software, by a small team in Latvia. And you can tell that they are absolutely using all of their tools to the best of their ability. It's a story where the arcs of the characters are essentially projected onto the characters by the audience. The animals are experiencing a journey and are telling a story through their movements and their facial reactions and their animation. But like the whole car ride home with my girlfriend after we saw it, we were just talking about the different ways we interpreted all of those characters' choices and movements as animals, because these are the least anthropomorphized animals I've seen in a movie in some time. They are having an adventure and existing in this beautiful flooded world where there clearly were humans, but there no longer are anymore. And this little black cat and his unlikely friends are working their way through it, not like people, but like animals. It's truly a stunning thing to behold. And did I get a little sleepy in the middle? Yes, but I was not bored. I was cozy. It is an extremely soothing film. I can imagine putting it on at a party and just looking on every once in a while and going, hey, that secretary bird is, defending the cat. And like watch the dynamics of this scene between these two characters, or oh, look at that dog's so great. Oh, I love that lemur. Like every shot of this movie could become somebody's favorite shot. It is a beautiful movie that I hope does continue to get attention, even as Wild Robot is also celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, of course, that does mean that my number one animated film of 2024, which I technically saw right before the Oscars in 2023, is Robot Dreams.
Hey, look at that.
Which, if I had seen last year, would have been my number one of last year when it was nominated for the Oscars. It would have, I think, just barely edged out Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron, because goddamn is Robot Dreams absolutely my shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A portrait of 1980s New York filled with anthropomorphic animal characters, tons of detail and in the world design and like visual jokes just of what animals are doing what things, combined with a beautiful heartbreaking story of what it's like to make a best friend and then what happens after. And beautiful surrealist dream sequences, one of which made my jaw drop in the way that like Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr. did. Do you know what I'm talking about, Marcelo? I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen Robot Dreams. Do you know what sequence I'm talking about?
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's a reference to a very colorful movie from the 30s.
Oh, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and getting to see it on a big screen blew me away. I'm a huge proponent of 2D animation on the big screen, and the fact that there was a movie this emotionally resonant, this beautiful, this creative, and so cartoony, it's just 100% for me. Love Robot Dreams. It is now on Hulu. It is so accessible. I need to watch it again. I still have only seen it the once, but I loved it so much, and I can't wait to watch it many more times in my life.
What'd you say, Siobhan?
I didn't know it was on Hulu. The reason I watched what I watched is because I thought that's what I had available to me.
No, it dropped on Hulu like 4 weeks ago.
Siobhan, you fucked up.
It's because I have Max, and so I'm like, well, okay, I've got this. I got to watch these fucking stupid-ass Justice League movies.
Yeah, you watch a bunch of DC movies, but you missed the already acclaimed,
according to the animation expert. Oh my god.
The acclaimed Robot Dreams on Hulu next to Cuckoo.
There we go.
Okay. Joey,
that's it.
amazing.
Yes.
Amazing list.
For the record, while I'm here, I did like Inside Out 2. I had a lovely time. It's just, I watched a lot of other movies because I watch a lot of animation. I did not see Kung Fu Panda 4, but I bet I will like it. I really like those other three. I did not make any time to see Despicable Me 4 and don't really care to. But I'm sure it's fun.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Yeah, you know what the movie is.
Yeah. And I want to see that Lord of the Rings anime that's out. I'm going to try to find time to see that before it's out of the theater. That seems cool.
Our friend of the previous friend of the show, potentially future friend of the show, the real Matt C. He did go out to that one, and he did say he liked it quite a bit.
Cool.
Okay.
I just love that Warner Brothers gave a budget to that sucker. I want to see more big animated adaptations of major franchises. That's rad.
Yeah. I would like to see that. Yeah. More spin-offs, animated spin-offs of big IP. I like to see more of that.
Well, thank you for letting me wax poetic about cartoons for 15 minutes or however long I just talked.
And that's it. That's our show, Siobhan. Unless there's anything else we should talk about, because like there is something we should talk about. We've already discussed all the best visual effects. The films with the best visual effects of the year, the best animated films of the year. We've covered it all. There's no other opinions we need to hear from.
Marcelo, that's where you're wrong.
What? The fuck you talking about?
There actually are some opinions we need to hear from. I do believe you had me plug this place earlier, but you might have forgotten.
Of course.
We have the talkfilmsociety.com/discord.
No way.
talkfilmsociety.com/discord.
Get the fuck out of here.
Come in, join, go into the Talk Awards channel where every single week we ask of you to please give us your choices for the categories of the week, and we read them on the show.
And that happened?
That happened.
That happened. Oh,
That happened.
that happened. Did that just happen?
So,
All right, Siobhan, get into it.
yeah.
Do it.
Our first responder, Jay McMillan. You might be hearing from him later. Jay McMillan, he says his best animated films are The Wild Robots,
Woo.
Flow,
Yeah.
Orion and the Dark,
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Transformers 1,
Hey.
Good movie.
Robot Dreams.
Yeah.
Robot Dreams. Yeah. Another hero who places Robot Dreams in this year's Best Animated Film category.
We also had him submit his best visual effects of the year, of course. He says Dune Part 2.
Correct.
He is missing the colon after Dune.
Get together,
He
buddy.
says Furiosa. I believe he means Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. He says Kingdom/Planet/Apes.
Wait a second. Come on. Come on. That's
know why you do
egregious.
Were the prepositions on holiday? I mean, they're available.
What's happening here?
They
I
work
believe
for
he
scale.
means Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. He says if. Now, that's interesting.
Wait a second. Has
If.
who here has seen If?
Has anybody seen if here?
I have a bone to pick with If. And,
Okay.
and I'm going to quickly use this platform
Pick
to
that
say
bone.
so. There is a beloved children's animated show from the 2000s called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, about a home where imaginary friends get adopted by humans, and their lead character's name is Blue, Bloo. And the film If is a movie about a home for imaginary friends where animated imaginary friends get adopted by humans, and the lead character's name is Blue. And if that's not a capital R ripoff, I don't know what is.
Lawsuit incoming.
Craig McCracken should sue Ryan Reynolds. And John
Also,
Krasinski.
also that's like Monsters Inc. She calls Sully Blue. Whatever.
Doesn't she call him Kitty?
Wait, is that what he calls her? She calls him?
Yeah, I think so. Kitty.
Oh, I thought she called him Blue. My bad.
You're
okay, then
you're
it's like
thinking
old
of
school. You're my boy.
Yeah, oh fuck, you got there before me. Fuck you. Okay, keep going.
And he also says Twisters. I'm
Okay.
going for Twisters.
Hell yeah.
Zephyr, fly away
Zephyr.
on my Zephyr. Zephyr. She says for best, she's abstaining from best animated film, as I only saw one that would qualify. And then she makes an interesting choice later when she does go for best VFX. I believe she meant best visual effects. She says Mr. Crockett. She's missing the period after Mr. And she says Dune Part 2, and she's missing the colon after Dune.
Come on.
And that's the end of the list. So
Yeah, interesting. So
she
two.
only gave us two. Two is acceptable, but she wouldn't give us animated because she only had one. Now that I just find that a little questionable.
Huh. Okay, so it's not a violation, but it's a warning. We're gonna give you a warning, Zephyr.
It's just a little. It's an oddity, you know.
Yeah.
And we do count those.
Yeah.
Jay McMillan says I might include Mr. Crockett in production design. Please, no spoilers for the
Yeah,
future.
come on. Let's go.
Please.
No, that's a violation.
That's a violation. Yeah. Sam Shot First, friend of the site, Sam Shot First.
So,
Comes at us with best animated feature. The Wild Robot,
All right, solid.
yep.
Orion and the Dark,
Yeah.
Nice.
Spellbound. What's this one?
Spellbound.
Yeah, Joey, what's this one? What's going on here?
What's this one? What's Spellbound?
So, Skydance Animation is a animated studio that came up after John Lasseter was ousted from Pixar for being creepy. They snatched him up to lead their animated studio.
Oh, is this their follow-up to Luck?
This is their follow-up to Luck.
Boy.
It stars a person I really like, Rachel Zegler, who I'm sure is singing some nice songs in that movie. But Skydance Animation in general, their decision to give Lasseter another platform rubs me the wrong way. And so I have not given any attention to Spellbound.
Friend of the site, Sam Shot First. That is a party foul, is what we'll call him.
Sam, I'm sure you had your reasons. Maybe it was Rachel Zegler's cool, and it's nice to watch her projects.
Inside Out 2 and Transformers 1. And he also says, I'm sure Flo or Memoir of a Snail will bump one of those when I see them.
Probably Spellbound.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to talk about the movies you haven't seen. I don't care. It makes no difference to me.
Yeah. Sam, why don't you update us when you do see those movies, and then we could possibly go back and, reread your
We've never said you can't go back. We've never said that. But we are saying you shouldn't go forward.
You can even look back. You watch the film Look Back.
Yeah.
Sure. Or don't look back. And then for he says, best VFX. I believe he means best visual effects.
Yeah.
He says, Dune Part 2, forgot the colon again. Nobody knows about that colon.
Oh, boy.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. A Quiet Place, Day 1. He got that colon. Ooh, wow, good job. Interesting choice, though. Yeah. I didn't see it.
I heard it's good. That movie is solid. I'll give it that. It's a solid movie, but for me, the effects are pretty much on par with what I've seen before with any other Quiet Place movie. So
yeah,
I do like the movie, though. I do like the movie.
I was not into that creature effect.
I haven't seen any of those, but the idea is that you're mostly not seeing the aliens or whatever, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, but
I think they expose it too much, but you should not see the alien.
For sure, in the sequels, you see a lot of the monsters, especially in the newest one, in Day 1. You see it there's like a horde by the end. It's basically Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
I'll give them a pass there. Same Shot First says Furiosa. I believe that he means Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And his last choice here for best VFX is Damsel. Don't know what that is. In parentheses,
it's a dragon movie on Netflix with Eleven. What's her face? What's her name? Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
The one who loves movies so much.
In parentheses, he said good dragon. So that's nice at least. Maybe that's, you know what, that brings some good vibes after your 2 party fouls.
Yeah.
All right.
Sam, you passed.
We love you, Sam. Sorry.
Sam. Good job.
I'm not sorry. Okay. Now, Not the Who's Tommy, past and future guest of the show. He gives us his best visual effects. The Primevals.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2. He forgot the colon, but you had a reaction to The Primevals.
I did. I saw The Primevals in theaters this year. Is that a movie that either of you have heard of?
I don't think so. No.
The Primevals was a passion project of a very well-regarded stop-motion animator whose name I am looking up because I don't have it memorized. David Allen is the director of this movie. Give
me a Greer and you got something.
Yes, exactly. He started making the movie in the 90s and essentially ran out of money because stop motion is hard. But he's really good at it. And I believe he passed away and then they posthumously finished his work on the movie so that it could be released as sort of his final contribution to stop motion world.
Actually, that's a parallel to Mad God, which we got just 2 years ago, right? That's actually quite interesting.
The Phil Tippett is still alive, right?
Sure. Yes. I mean, there is that posthumous angle, but yeah.
But the passion project part of it, I think.
The passion project.
Yes.
You're making
it is a
stop motion passion
in your
project.
basement for 30 years.
Yes.
You know?
I thought the stop motion was excellent, and the rest of the film was okay. But I'm glad I saw it.
Gotcha. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. In a Violent Nature. Interesting. I tried to think of a horror movie.
You know what?
And I just didn't. I haven't seen this one. Twisters is his final pick. And he says he's abstaining from animated film for the sake of my Patreon paywall come February. I guess that means we have to plug his shit.
Yeah.
So Not the Who's Tommy. His real name is Tommy Marinara.
We're going to have it out on mic soon. I'm pretty sure.
We'll take this guy down when he's on our show.
Yeah.
But for now, we will play by his rules. We will plug his patreon.com/cinema2letter, which is the Patreon for bonus episodes for his show Cinema to the Letter, which he hosts with Brian Andrade. They call themselves the Leather Boys. We're gonna have them on soon. We will absolutely ream their fucking asses.
Yeah,
get them.
We will see you soon, Leather Boys.
For now, I think we just have 2 more entries in our thing. Let me pull them up right quick. These are people that we've always known are in our Discord. Richard Gere Solid. Best animated feature. Memoir of a Snail.
Yeah.
Flow. Robot Dreams was 2023, but it didn't. Yeah, we get it.
We all talked about it.
Richard Gere Solid for visual effects, or VFX, I believe they meant visual effects. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Thank you. Alien Romulus has the colon. Dune Part 2 has the colon. Wow, this guy's on fire.
3 for 3.
Hundreds of Beavers and The Shadow Strays. I don't know nothing about this one.
Oh.
Sounds like none of us do.
I also don't know what that is, yeah.
I got nothing on that one.
And then the lovely, luscious Lexi Zananetti. She has watched 0 animated films this year. She wants to watch War of the
Rohirrim, the Lord of the Rings animated film.
Okay. VFX. Best visual effects. Dune Part 2. She forgot the colon, but obviously I'm not too sure about how much of that is location, production, and editing. Whole thing looks beautiful, though. That's all part of it. Alien Romulus. Forgot the colon. Amazing that visuals we're all so familiar with can still feel novel and fresh. Great puppets, great CGI, just a wonderful visual aesthetic to get completely lost in. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Got no business looking this good, she says. All of these movies could just be franchise slop, and instead they do something cool. The opening half hour looks fab. And The People's Joker. You forgot the possessive People's.
Come on.
Still don't know if... I know it. Still don't know if I can count this one as 2024, but if I can, then this is the most unique and innovative use of VFX I've seen this decade. It's like if a movie was mixed media, like a collage fab. That one gets 2 fabs. Mm-hmm. All right, so that is the end of our TalkFilmSociety.com/Discord segment, I want to say.
Woo. All right.
Sorry to say. I don't want it.
Sorry to say. Sorry. You had to open your mouth. No. We love everybody in the Discord and the Talk Society Discord. They're the best. Keep chiming in. And if you want to join, I don't think there's any way anybody listening can join if they're not already in the Discord, right, Siobhan? There's no way.
Okay. Marcelo, I've said it time and time again.
No. No way.
Whenever I mention it, I call it the TalkFilmSociety.com/Discord. And actually, the reason I'm saying
that link is a dummy link, right? That doesn't work.
No. If you typed that URL into your search box right now,
it doesn't just show 404, internal error.
No, and it's not a Trojan horse or anything. We promise. It will bring you to a place where you'll have a link to join this Discord.
Okay. You know what? Try it, folks listening. Just try that link. See if it works. Okay.
Exactly.
What an episode. Now.
Great episode.
I had a great time.
Okay. There's just, like Steve Jobs, there's just one more thing. And also like Columbo, there's just one more thing. All right.
I don't know what that Steve Jobs thing is. You did that last week.
No, because Steve Jobs, he when he unveiled the iPhone, like nobody knew what was going to happen. He goes, I think that's what happened, right? He goes, just one more thing. Well, not like Columbo. He goes, and now one more thing, and then he reveals the one thing. And now Apple, every conference they do, every reveal they have, like, hey, there's one more thing. Hey, here's AI. Everybody will love it. My one more thing this episode is originally I had planned some games. All right? But we're going to have to push that to another episode. All right? Unfortunately, time constraints will not allow us to play the games I've planned. save for one. That's right. We have the Gold Derby game.
Yeah.
Okay. The Gold Derby game. The Gold Derby game.
Gold Derby.
The Gold Derby
game.
The Gold Derby game, for those who don't know. Gold Derby is a website where a bunch of people call themselves experts and claim to pick the top five.
A bunch of jerk-offs, they say.
The top five in every category.
Real hosers.
Here are the movies that are going to get nominated in all the categories at the Oscars. We're going to focus on Best Visual Effects and Best Animated Film. The way this goes, like last episode, I'm going to quiz Siobhan. Can Siobhan name the top five in both of these categories? And like last episode, Siobhan will have our guest as what'd you call it last time?
Isn't it more fun to test him?
No. This has always been a game aimed at you, but Joey can help if you need help, if you need a ripcord.
All right, you were my
phone a friend. That's what it was.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Hey, no problem.
Okay, phone a friend. All right.
Who wants to
Happy to do it.
Okay. Here we go. Best visual effects. The top five according to Gold Derby. The experts.
Visual effects. Okay.
Okay. Have at it, Siobhan. Name the top
Alien
five.
Romulus.
That is number 6. And
Ding, ding, ding.
no, she's got to get the top five. So that's out of the realm. So that's 6. Siobhan, keep going.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
That is number 2. Bing, 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 bing.
Dune Part 2.
That is number 1. Bing, 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 bing.
I question it, but I'm going to say Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
That, unfortunately, is not on the list. I should have said this before.
I didn't think so.
This is going by the shortlisted visual effects picks.
It's not. That's not even shortlisted.
That's not even shortlisted. It is insane.
Damn.
So
Damn
not on
Academy
the list.
ignoring George Miller.
Yeah, insane.
Didn't love the look of that movie. Twisters.
Twisters is number 5.
Ding, ding,
Oh
ding.
wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting it. Okay, wow.
So you have 3 more. Sorry, you have 2 more to go. Slots 3 and 4.
It's not a
Slots 3 and 4.
It's not a slots 3 and 4. Wicked.
Wicked is number 3.
Ding, ding,
The
ding.
Wicked.
You're clearing house. You have 1 more to go.
Gladiator 2.
Whoa, you got it. You got
Did
it.
I?
Ding, ding, ding,
You
ding,
got
ding,
Gladiator 2.
That was totally a reach.
Whoa, without asking Joey for help. You got it.
No,
Well done,
no.
Shiv.
That means I get 2 next time.
Oh, you get 2.
It doesn't
See
carry
you next
over.
Yeah, it carries over.
I have a question, Marcelo. Did a better man make the top 10?
Better Man.
Man.
Better Man is in the top 10 on Gold Derby and shortlisted for the Oscars. So yes, Better Man is on the best visual effects list so far. All right, best animated film. Siobhan, top 5. Go.
All right. Well, what's a lock? All right, it's Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2 is number 2. Bing, 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 bing.
Ding, 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 ding.
Number 2.
Yeah.
It is not
man,
the favorite this year,
Taken aback by that, actually.
despite the $1.7 billion box office gross.
Yeah. Okay. I do think Luck is in, or not Luck. God, I was thinking of a black cat.
They do both have black cats. That's true.
Yeah. Flow. I think Flow has a.
Flow is number 3.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Bing, bing.
I'm also gonna say Transformers 1.
Transformers 1 is number 12. And
Yeah. Okay. This is where I need to phone a friend.
all right, your friend is Joey Hamilton. Joey?
Okay.
Oh. Good.
So there is a major movie we talked about that you have not said yet. That was on both Marcelo and my lists. I liked it more than he did. The phone a friend. Do I just say it, or is that enough to get you there?
Siobhan, can you guess it now?
Yeah, that is a fun game to give me hints.
And it did firmly come out this year. It is not one of the ones where we were kind of like, it kind of was a last year, kind of was a this year.
I know Robot Dreams wouldn't be. Oh, The Wild Robot.
Yes, The Wild Robot is number 1.
You get them confused.
Ding, ding,
And I'm
ding.
like, there's just one robot movie.
The Wild
It's-
Robot
it's fake.
Dreams. Yeah. All right, 2 more.
The Wild Robot Dreams of Electric Sheep.
Number 4 and 5.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Joey can assist.
Yeah,
I do have one more assist from the Mr. Joey Sif.
Yeah. I have a feeling that one of them is the big animated movie of Thanksgiving that made a lot of money from a major studio.
Interesting.
Freebirds?
What'd you say?
Freebirds?
Freebirds
The
from
film that came out like
20
10
years
years
ago?
ago.
When did that movie come out?
I meant this Thanksgiving of 2024. Is a sequel to the most streamed animated film on Disney Plus.
It's a big hammer.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? Out there on the water. The ocean surrounding Hawaii. Moana 2.
Sorry, Siobhan. That's number 6. And
Oh, shit. Sorry, I was sure that money would have gotten it onto the top 5. On the
Netflix thing. The Orion in the Dark.
sorry, Siobhan. That is.
What is going on?
I
Oh,
don't.
wait a second.
think that's on the
Marcelo,
list.
is
Yeah.
a certain stop motion animated film that is not quite out yet, that's coming to Netflix in January because it screened at festivals. Is it on there, starring a certain beloved duo of the British cinema?
No.
Yes.
Oh, Wallace
shit.
and Gromit, the movie 2? Or whatever?
Yes,
You know what? I'll
that's
take
not what
it.
it's called.
Yeah,
but
well, it's not called Wallace and Gromit the movie too.
it's Vengeance Most Foul.
Yes, Vengeance Most Foul. That's number
That's
4.
nice, Phil.
Yeah.
I do
Okay.
love those little guys.
I am
Oh,
very, very excited for that. I was not sure if that
Yeah.
would make this year's Oscars or not.
Yeah. That's number 4. We
got
got
one
number
left?
5 left. Yes.
One more.
If y'all are stumped, I'll give a hint. It was mentioned before. It did make somebody's list.
Okay. I think I know what it is.
Eh,
I also have a guess, I guess.
okay,
Joey, I'll
Siobhan.
let you have the guess.
Oh yeah, Joey. Yeah, Joey. Guess go first.
Is it Memoir of a Snail?
It is a Memoir of a Snail.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not going to be my guess. I was thinking like the John Lasseter name or whatever. I got luck didn't get nominated.
So, just to give the rundown one last time, visual effects, according to Gold Derby, and by the way, after I list these, we're going to pick who's going to win the Oscar for these categories. We're going to make
Yeah,
the
we gotta
bold
hurry up
choices,
too,
right?
Please.
Okay, VFX, Dune Part 2, number 1, then Kingdom of the... I was going to say Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked, Gladiator 2, and Twisters. For animated film, The Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, Flow, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and Memoir of a Snail. Let's go to Joey. Joey, who do you think is going to win the Oscar for these 2 categories?
So, for Best Animated Feature, I'm quite confident this will be another year where Flow will be the indie darling like Robot Dreams that will win a lot of critic awards, but The Wild Robot, as both a critically and commercially successful animated feature, will win Best Animated Feature. And then for Best Visual Effects, I believe Dune Part 2 has it in the frickin' bag. I think Gold Derby is pretty on the money for both of these.
Okay. Siobhan?
Visual effects, absolutely. Dune Part 2. It'd be kind of nuts if anything else won. And then animated, though, no, I don't agree with you, actually. I thought you were going the way that I'm thinking, where like last year, you know, the better movie did win. Boy and the Heron won.
That's true. It was better.
I think Flow. I genuinely do think Flow will win.
Okay.
That would be incredible.
As for me, for visual effects, yeah, I'll go Dune Part 2. I think it's a lock at this point. Looking at the other ones on the list. By the way, if this is to be believed, there are 10 films shortlisted. Beyond the top 5 that we mentioned, Alien Romulus is 6, Spider-Man 7, Mufasa, The Lion King 8,
Please hurry up.
Sure.
Civil War 9, and number 10, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm gonna say Dune Part 2 for sure, and then Best Animated Feature. Let's go Flow. Yeah, I'm going with Siobhan here. Flow.
I'd be delighted to be wrong. I just think a lot of the people that vote for Oscars will have seen The Wild Robot and won't have seen Flow. But we'll find out.
And there we go. Take these answers, take these guesses, take these prognostications to the bank, folks. Make money in your Oscar pools. Win big by listening to Talk from
Take
Society.
out your life insurance policies.
Absolutely. Much like George Bailey, just go to the bridge, look down, consider things.
There's Oscar money in your house, in Fred's house, in my house.
I have to stop recording right now. My thing's at 1%. It's rapidly dying.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
So, Marcelo,
Siobhan, thank you. Joey, it's been a pleasure. Where can people listening find you online if you wish to be found?
Yes, I'm now on Blue Sky at RMFezman. I don't use the other site anymore. And I would be delighted to be chatted with on the Discord. And if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, come see a show at Dallas Children's Theater. I work there, and it's a great organization that I'm very proud of.
There you go. Do it, folks. All right. Siobhan says this, hey, go listen to that Vera Drew commentary. By this point, when the episode's out, it's no longer Christmas, but you can still enjoy the conversation Siobhan, Vera Drew, and I had talking over Jingle All the Way. And that's it. For me, hey, Stage to Screen, listen to that. Soderbergh Manifesto, listen to that. Keep listening to this show. We'll be back next week for a new one. Siobhan, thank you. In that silence, I'm going to imagine Siobhan said something. Joey, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Listeners, thank you. Yes, thank you. And now, for the closing thing, we all say, hey, see you at the movies. Nope, never said that. All right, bye.